is everybody doing today? I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Where is the rain sound? Oh my goodness. There we go, there's something. A little bit more. There's something. Okay. So earlier, I'm pretty sure what crashed stream was literally Spotify. Isn't that so crazy? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. More contributions! Yeah! Thank you so much. Let's see. Congrats on first, honey. Congrats on second, Lulu. I think earlier, Chaos got second. Wait, let me make sure I'm reading that right. Yes. Multiple people got second, but that's okay. And thank you for the hydrate, Lulu. But yes, we are working towards the community challenge goal of the Yandere roleplay. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Lulu. Yeah, the goal is, I think I set it to 30,000. I think that's a good amount. Because I'm not trying to do it like super fast. I still need to plan some stuff for it. I'm very excited to do it sometime this month, hopefully. And I don't know if the rain is too loud actually. It looks like it's a little louder. Go down a bit. Okay. Looks like my model might be a little angry today too. I still don't know why. Maybe it's my hair. My hair might be making my eyebrows invisible or something. Okay. I will try to look as happy as possible. The rain was a bit loud, but it's gonna. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I figured it because it looked like my voice was like the same level as the rain, or the rain was a little bit louder. So, yeah, I needed to fix that as soon as possible. But today we are going to be reading about yokai, and oh, actually, I don't even know where we are. I don't even have my book out yet. I am so unprepared. Oh my gosh. 1 second. Okay, there we are. My book was in my drawer and it was under a billion different things. But we have it now, so let's see where we last left off. Pretty sure we did the crocodile mouth one, the Waniguchi. Did we do... Why are none of these sounding familiar to me? Let's take a look. Let's take a little look. I'm pretty sure we did Wow Wow. Yamabiko. Let's check that one. Yamabiko. Let's just see real quick. Okay, yes, I remember that one. I remember how they look, not their names. Let's see. Did we do Yukiona? I don't remember. Like, at all. Yukiona. don't think we did. I don't think we got to her. Let's try Yari. That sounds familiar. That sounds very familiar. Yes, we did do that one. I guess we left off on that one then. If we didn't do Yuki Onna yet. Let's go back to her then. Go back to Yuki Onna. Here she is. Hello. Wow. She looks very cool. Very cool. Let me find the page. 134. Okay. 111, 15, 27, 31, and 34. Okay. Here she is. She looks so cool. Okay. I wish I could show the book too. Okay, let's see. Oh, my water bottle's in the way. Okay. Move chat over a little bit so that I can see. Okay. Here we are. Yuki Onna. Oh. 1 second. Okay, well, that's the best that's gonna get. Okay. Yuki Onna. Translation is Snow Woman. Habitat is mountain passes or anywhere there is snow. Which makes sense. Diet is life energy, but she can also eat ordinary food. A wild scatterbug appears. Oh my goodness. Let's read about Yuki Onna. Her appearance. Yuki Onna prey on travelers lost in the heavy snowstorms that blanket the Japanese Alps in winter. They have an otherworldly beauty with long black hair and dark, piercing eyes. Their skin is ageless and as white as snow, but their bodies are as cold as ice. A mere touch is enough to give a human a deep, unshakable chill. They feed on life force, sucking it from humans' mouths with an icy breath that freezes their victims solid. Whoa. Interactions. Yuki Onna spend their lives hunting humans in the snow. They stay near mountain roads and prey on the travelers coming and going, or break into homes and flash freeze the inhabitants during the night. That's kinda rude. That's very rude. While they are killers, Yuki Onna are not entirely cold-blooded. Legends say they can fall in love with their intended prey and let them go free. Some go so far as to marry humans and live happily together. As supernatural spirits never age, however, their husbands inevitably discover their true identities. This revelation usually ends these happy marriages. That's sad. Legends. In Yamagata Prefecture, an elderly man operated an inn on a mountain trail with his wife. One snowy night, the inn was visited by a young lady traveling alone. She warmed herself by the fire and ate with the innkeeper and his wife. She was sweet and charming and extremely beautiful, so it was even more of a surprise when, in the middle of the night, during a fierce blizzard, she stood up and made to leave the inn. The innkeeper begged her not to go outside and took her hand to hold her back. It was as cold as ice. Merely touching it sucked all the warmth from the innkeeper's body. As he tried to keep the girl in the house, her entire body turned into a fine icy mist and shot up the chimney and out into the night. Oh my god, it's Santa Claus. Why does it sound so much like Santa? That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. A man from Niigata Prefecture claimed that he had been married to a Yuki Onna. His wife was beautiful, with piercing eyes and skin as white as a marble statue. While he loved to take long, hot baths every night, his wife always refused to bathe. This puzzled him greatly. One particularly cold and snowy night, he insisted that his wife take a bath. Otherwise, she would freeze to death in the cold, he said. She protested, but there was no reasoning with the man. Finally, she what is that word? Acquiesced? I've never seen that word before. Interesting. I'm assuming that means she agreed. When he went in to check on her a few minutes later, all he found in the tub were half-melted icicles. No, she melted. She melted. No. What the heck? She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. It's interesting that they can fall in love with humans. Very interesting. Okay. Let us read about Yuki Onna in the book. Oh. I have a book. Where is my book? Oh, there it is. I have a book. And the water is a bit low. Okay, thank you, honey. Better? Yeah, thank you. Yuki Onna, also meaning Snow Woman. In contrast to the relatively rare Ame Onna, or Rain Woman, the Snow Woman, Yuki Onna, appears more frequently in Japanese art and culture. Excuse me. An early account of Yuki Onna is by the monk Sogi, a famous poet of his time who mentions in Sogi's stories of many countries that he encountered a Yuki Onna in the mountainous province of Ichigo, today's Niigata Prefecture. The Yuki Onna appears in the form of a ghost, which looks like a beautiful woman with long black hair. In the many parts of Japan that experience winters with lots of snow, differing legends exist about Yuki Onna. Many of them describe her as harmless to humans, but some blame her for the disappearance of children, or for adults freezing to death during winter. She is sometimes included in pictorial hand scrolls of selected demons, such as Toriyama Sekin's book Illustrations of a Demon Horde's Night Parade. In 1708, the playwright Chikamatsu Monzaemon was inspired to create an adaptation of Yuki Onna for the puppet theater called Yuki Onna Gomai Hagoita. Oh really, that's it? That's all they had to say about her in the book? Crazy, 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 crazy. I think she's very cool. I wish there was more to say about her. But I guess she is pretty straightforward. It's not a bad thing. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Oh, we're on part 2 of the book. Yurei, which are ghosts and apparitions. First up is Konpaku, which means souls. Konpaku, konpaku. Konpaku, konpaku. What? What do you mean? Okay, do they have a different name? What if I just type in the translation? Soul. We have something, but I don't think it's it. Oh my gosh. Why is this so cute? This is not what we're supposed to be looking at. This is not it. But oh my god, it's adorable. Do you see this? Do you see this right now? This is so cute. Wait a minute, I just added a new emote today that looks like this. Where is it? Here it is. It's so cute! So cute, so cute, so cute. I love it. Oh my god, I can zoom in so much. Goodness. Okay, that's not what we're supposed to be looking at right now. Maybe I should just type in Yurei. Oh my god, what are you? You look crazy, he's scary. Ah, that's cute. Oh my god, what are you? That looks so silly. Let's try just typing in Yurei. Yurei. Yurei, Yurei, Yurei. Oh my god. That's not what I meant to do at all. Search bar, please. Yurei. Well, I don't think that helped much at all. Oh, well, we'll just go with this one. Yeah, this will do. This will do. Close enough. So this is Yurei. Basically, ghost apparition. Let's read about them. Translation is faint spirit or ghost. Alternate names are Obake, Shiryo, Bore. Other names exist for specific variations. Habitat is any, but they are commonly found in graveyards, houses, or near the place of death. Their diet is none. Appearance. There are many different types of Yurei. In most cases, how they appear depends on the circumstances of their death. They retain the features and the clothing they wore when they died or were buried, which means they are dressed in whites, burial kimonos, or the uniforms of fallen warriors. Occasionally, they have bloody wounds, indicative of the way they died. Their hair is usually long and disheveled, often obstructing their face and adding to their disturbing appearance. Their hands hang limply from their wrists. Yurei are translucent and only faintly visible. In most cases, they are so faint that they appear to have no feet. Interactions. Yurei are capable of invoking powerful curses. They do not roam about, but haunt one particular place or person. In the case of a place, it is often where they died or are buried. In the case of a person, it is often their killer or sometimes their loved ones. They remain stuck in this world until they can be put to rest. This might require bringing their killers to justice or finding their lost body, or something as simple as passing on a message to a loved one. Some Yurei are reluctant to accept their own deaths and haunt their living family, bringing misfortune and unhappiness for the rest of their family members' lives. That's not good. Kinda sad. Each haunting is as unique as the person it originated from. Only when its purpose for existing is fulfilled, or it is exorcised by a priest, can a Yurei finally rest. But the possibility that salvation exists is a glimmer of hope for those who are affected by a haunting. Origin. According to traditional Japanese beliefs, when a person dies, their soul lives on as a separate entity, passing on to a heavenly afterlife. This transition is accomplished through a number of funeral and post-funeral rites and prayers performed by their loved ones over many years. Through these rites, the soul is reunited with its ancestors and becomes a family guardian spirit. These ancestors are enshrined in the house and continue to be honored as members of the family, particularly during the summer holiday of Obon, when they are said to return to the material world to be with their families. Those who do not receive the proper funeral rites cannot pass on. They remain stuck in a purgatory that is part physical world and part ethereal. Others who die suddenly, tragically, or violently, or with grudge and malice in their hearts, are sometimes unable to pass on, even with the proper prayers and rites. These lost souls transform into Yurei. Very sad. Sad case. Okay. Let's read about Yurei from the book. Well, in the book, more specifically, it is konpaku, which means souls. A wild Medicham appears. I don't know what that one looks like. That Pokemon. Okay. Oh. Thank you for the hydrate, honey. I may or may not need a water refill soon. Okay. Okay. Is it just me or is my model lagging a little bit? Oh well, it's okay. Chinese philosophy distinguishes between two different types of soul. Han, which leaves the body after death, and Po, which remains with the corpse. This concept of a spiritual soul dual was first recorded in the Warring States period, so around 475 to 221 BCE, and at some later time made its way into Japanese traditional belief as konpaku. A sudden or violent death can result in funeral rites not being properly performed, which can cause the soul to transform into a ghost, or yurei. A soul can also become a ghost if, at the time of death, the emotions of the deceased were so intense that the path to death was blocked. The ghost would then wander around, attempting to find closure. At least since the late 18th century, paintings of ghosts have existed in Japan. They are almost always female and are usually portrayed as legless figures wearing white robes, typically used for corpses in funeral ceremonies, and with disheveled hair and hideous facial expressions. An increase in the demand for such paintings was discernible in the 19th century. Many of them are unsigned, and thus information about the painters is unknown. Such paintings were commonly stored in Buddhist temples, believed to be the best place to secure ghostly imagery. Inagaki Ranpo painted a ghost with an emaciated chest, revealed because her white kimono had slipped off her left shoulder. The sash of the robe, which hangs loosely, is painted a purple that looms with the dark. She looks over her shoulder and appears to beckon someone, possibly her unfaithful husband who was responsible for her death. Inagaki Motoyoshi, the ninth and last lord of the Yamakami clan in today's Shiga prefecture, used the art name Renpo, and is said to have painted this ghost picture at an early age. Around 1883, Tsukioka Yoshitoshi was commissioned to paint a ghost which he created entirely of black ink using the chiaroscuro technique. Only the ghost's pale blue eyes shine ominously. Another painting of a ghost, unsigned and thus the artist is unknown, is set in a graveyard at night. The ghost appears from the tomb of the Hayashi family, indicated by the vertical line Senzo Daidai, meaning generation after generation, followed by the family's name, horizontally below that. Whoa. I really wish that I could show the pictures from the book. They look so cool. Very cool. Okay. Oh goodness. This next one is a bit, I don't know if I can show this one. This one's a little crazy. Let me just make sure the picture isn't bad first. Okay, let's look. Have a good lurk, have a good lurk. Let's see. This one's called Ubume. It means birthing women. So I just want to make sure the picture isn't bad first. I don't think I should show the picture, but I still want to read about it. About her. Yeah, I just won't show the picture. Yeah, okay. Okay, here we are. Let's read. Ubume. Translation means woman in late pregnancy, often written with different characters. Alternate names: Obo, Unme, Ugume, Ubametori, and many others. Habitat: she haunts the area where she gave birth. Diet is none. She only exists to deliver her baby into safe hands. Aww. Okay. A little bit sad so far. I feel like it might just get worse. It might just get a bit sadder. Let's see. Appearance. When a woman dies just before, during, or shortly after childbirth, anxiety for her child may prevent her spirit from passing on. This troubled attachment manifests as a ghost known as an ubume. These women appear on dark, rainy nights. Ubume can appear in many forms: a woman carrying a baby, a pregnant woman, or a blood-soaked walking corpse carrying an underdeveloped fetus. Other times they just appear as horrific, bloody, pregnant women crying out desperately into the night for help. These variations are due to the burial traditions of different regions, as well as the circumstances of their death. In some areas, when a pregnant woman died, she would be buried with the unborn fetus still inside of her. In other places, the fetus would be cut out of her and placed in her arms during burial. Women who died after developing stillborn babies were also buried this way. Behavior. These tragic spirits wander the areas near where they died, seeking aid from the living, which they cannot provide themselves. If the mother died after childbirth but her baby survived, the newly formed Ubume will try to care for the child in whatever way it can. She enters shops or homes to try to purchase food, clothes, or sweets for her still living child. In place of money, she pays with handfuls of dead leaves. These ghosts also try to lead humans to the place where their baby is hidden so that it can be taken to its living relatives or adopted by another person. In cases where both mother and child died, an Ubume can appear carrying the bundled corpse of her infant. When a human approaches, the ghost tries to deliver the bundle into the arms of the living. If the stranger accepts, the ghost vanishes, and the bundle grows heavier and heavier until the helpful stranger is crushed under its weight. Oh my gosh. Other forms. The name Ubume is written with characters that imply a bird's name. The literal translation of these characters is child-snatching bird, and some theories connect this spirit with another yokai called the Ubume Tori. This yokai is an evil bird which flies through the sky searching for clothing that has been left on the clothesline overnight. Excuse me. Excuse me again. When it finds some, it smears its poisonous blood on the clothing. Shortly afterward, the owner of those clothes begins to develop shakes and convulsions, possibly leading to death. Ubume Tori are also blamed for snatching babies and taking them away into the night sky. Whether this bird is another form of the ghostly mother or a separate spirit with a similar name is not known. Very interesting. Oh, right, I don't want to show the picture. It's just a bit revealing. I don't think Twitch would like that. Okay, let's read from the book. Ubume, also meaning birthing women. An Ubume is the ghost of a woman who has died in childbirth. High maternal and infant mortality were constant sources of anxiety in pre-modern Japan, when stillborn babies, premature births, and miscarriages were common. Change did not occur until the late 19th and early 20th centuries, after Japan had entered a period of industrialization and modernization. In the visual arts, Ubume can be identified by their blood-stained lower body and an infant they usually carry in their arms. According to legend, an Ubume often awaits a passerby at a crossroad or bridge during nightfall. She tries to hand her baby over to a male passerby, and if he takes it, the Ubume disappears. The child eventually transforms into a bundle of leaves or a rock. According to the 12th century anthology of stories of times now past, the samurai Urabe Suetake, one of the 4 heavenly kings who assisted Minamoto Yorimitsu in his endeavors, met an Ubume, which Tsukioka Yoshitoshi has portrayed in 100 Stories from Japan and China. Yoshitoshi depicts the Ubume with wings, which was not a common feature. That's interesting that he gave her wings. Maybe he saw her as angelic, or no, because the Ubume Tori is the bird, right? It doesn't say what kind of wings. If they're angel wings or bird wings. That's interesting. Maybe that's why they started to, or another reason why they started to combine those, the 2 different yokai, or assume that they're the same. That's interesting. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Um, this is. Oh, well, apparently now we're on part 3. There was only 2. Yurei. It was souls and then birthing women. Okay. We're on part 3 called Kabuki Ghosts. And first up we have Kamada, Marahachi, and Gikuno. Don't think they're gonna be in on the website. I just have a feeling they're not gonna be. I tried Kikuno. Let's try Kamada. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Interesting. Well, let me find a picture at least. Why can I not click on this picture? Okay. It just was not letting me do anything. Okay. I have the picture. Let's see how it shows up. Okay, that's fine. That's good. A wild venipede appears. Oh my. Okay. Let's read from the book, since it is not on the Yokai website. And this one seems really short. Yeah, it's just one page. Okay. Let's read. These are Kabuki Ghosts. But it seems like we're mentioning or reading about humans. Maybe humans who have encountered these Kabuki Ghosts. So, they are Kamada, Marahachi, and Kikuno. And it goes. It is unclear if Kamada Marahachi was a historical figure, although he is first mentioned in a book from 1749 where he is described as having superhuman strength. He then resurfaces in the book Kamada Marahachi's Extermination of Spectres from 1769, which is illustrated by Tomikawa Fusanobu, who shows Marahachi confronting all kinds of monsters, including an old cat. Are they talking about the Bakeneko? In 1826, the author, Kitagawa Yukimaru, makes him the protagonist of the book The Story of the Strong Kamada Marahachi. In Kabuki plays, the character Kamada Marahachi does not appear before 1820, when it plays a minor role in Ontoshitama, Nigao Zoshi. I was struggling with that word. Its one and only manifestation as a ghost is in the period drama Nani Takashi Mariota Jitsuroku, written by Sakurada Jisuke III in 1855. The story is about the historical warrior Okubo Hikozaemon, who was well known at that time as a model samurai because he risked his life to rescue the shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu from a fire. In a subplot of the play, the affair between the samurai Anri, Kanemitsu, and Kyodai, the widow of his brother who is now a nun, was discovered by Marahachi, loyal retainer to the lord, and Kikuno, the lord's concubine. To conceal the affair, Kanemitsu has Marahachi and Kikuno killed in a river. However, their ghosts emerge to haunt Kanemitsu and Kyodai, who eventually, repentant, admit to the affair and clear Marahachi and Kikuno of any wrongdoing. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a little bit crazy. Goodness, goodness. That one was a little interesting. I think, why were affairs so common? Like, I feel like all these stories that have to do with people, there's an affair. Like, what the heck was going on back then? Okay, next up is Kasane. Kasane. Here they are. Oh dang. They look a little bit mean from the image alone. We have a lady minding her business and then a ghost on fire with a mini scythe. Oh goodness. Well, let's read about it. Let's learn a bit more. Okay. Kasane. Translation: a girl's name meaning to pile up, or to overlap, or to add on. An alternate reading of the kanji for her original name, Rui. Appearance: Kasane is the ghost from Kasane ga Fuchi, the pool of Kasane. It is based on true events which happened in the 17th century in what is now Ibaraki Prefecture. Although the story has changed quite a bit from the original incident. Excuse me. Her tale is one of the most famous Edo period ghost stories, and she is often held up with Oiwa and Okiku as a prime example of the grudge-bearing Japanese woman ghost. Her story was later adapted into rakugo and kabuki theater, as well as numerous films. Legends. Long ago, in the village of Hanyu in Shimosa province, lived a farmer named Yoemon and his wife Osuki. Osuki had a child from a previous relationship. The child's name was Suke, and he was terribly ugly. Oh, that's rude. His face was disfigured and his leg was malformed. Yoemon hated Suke. One day, Yoemon decided to dispose of Suke. While crossing a bridge over a deep pool, Yoemon knocked Suke into the pool. Suke was unable to swim and drowned. What the heck? Literally, what the heck? The following year, Yoemon and Osuke had a baby girl. They named her Rui. Or Rui. Rui? Rui. Rui? Okay, let's just say Rui. Rui looked so much like her half-brother Suke did that the villagers all believed she was haunted by a spirit. Instead of Rui, they referred to her as Kasane, an alternate reading of her name which implied that the ugly Suke had been born once again in her. Both of Kasane's parents died while she was young, and so she lived alone. She became very sick when a wandering stranger named Yagoro came to her house and nursed her back to health. Out of gratitude, Kasane offered to marry Yagoro. Excuse me. Like, imagine... That just sounds so funny to me. Imagine being sick, your doctor helps you get better, and out of gratitude, you're like, hey, let's get married. Excuse me? What do you mean? That's interesting. Okay, Kasane offered to marry Yagoro and make him the inheritor of her father's property. Although Yagoro found Kasane repulsive, he wanted her land and inheritance, and so he agreed to marry her. Okay, not long after they were married, Yagoro had enough of Kasane's ugliness. He took her out to their fields to collect beans. On the way home, made Kasane carry all of the beans herself so that she could barely walk. Just as they were crossing the pool, Yagoro pushed the overburdened Kasane into the water. Yagoro jumped in after her. He stepped on her chest, pinning her to the riverbed. He crushed and squeezed the air out of her lungs. He shoved rocks and river sand into her mouth. He stabbed her eyes with his thumbs. Then he wrung her neck until she could struggle no longer. Several townspeople witnessed Yagoro murder Kasane, but nobody moved to help her. What the heck? Literally, what the heck? After all, she was so ugly, there seemed to be an unspoken agreement to just leave it be. These people are so rude. Yagoro continued on as if nothing was different, living in Kasane's home and maintaining her family's lands. He remarried very quickly and for a while was happy. However, Yagoro's new wife died suddenly, not long after they were married. Yagoro remarried again, and again his wife died suddenly. This happened over and over again. When Yagoro had remarried 6 times, his wife managed to survive long enough to bear him a daughter. They named their daughter Kiku, and for a while they were happy. When Kiku was 13, Yagoro's 6th wife died. Yagoro married Kiku to a man named Kingoro and named him the successor to the Yeomon family. All of a sudden, Kiku became extremely sick and collapsed to the floor. Foaming and frothing at the mouth, tears streaming from her eyes, Kiku cried that she couldn't bear the pain. She begged for someone to help her. Suddenly, a different voice came forth from her body. Hello, Chunky King. Hello, hello. How are you doing? We are reading about yokai. Good. That's good to hear. I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking. My model is a little bit laggy today, and I'm not too sure why, but it's not that bad, so I'm not too worried. But I am very, very happy to be reading about yokai. I haven't been looking at my model much this stream. I don't know if I still look angry or not. But if I do, then it's okay. As long as we all know that I am not actually angry. We also have a community challenge going right now for a yandere roleplay ASMR later this month. So far we have 6,000 out of 30,000 raised. So yay! We're almost a third of the way there, and that is so exciting. Okay, she begged for someone to help her. Suddenly, a different voice came forth from her body. I am not Kiku. I am your wife, the wife you murdered. You overburdened me, you threw me into the pool, you crushed me and made me drown. Don't tell me you don't remember me. I cursed you and all 6 of your wives. I am the one who killed them. I am Kasane. Kingoro fled the village, never to return. Kiku's body stood up and lunged at Yagoro, but he managed to escape to the village temple. Yagoro told everyone that he had no idea what Kiku was saying, that he would never murder his own wife. The villagers, wanting to save poor Kiku, dragged Yagoro out from the temple to confront Kasane. Even as Kasane's spirit threatened and cursed Yagoro, he defiantly proclaimed his innocence. Kasane's spirit began naming and cursing the villagers who witnessed her murder and yet did nothing. Finally, Yagoro and the others confessed their crime. Yurei was such an unattractive and unpleasant person that the whole village had neglected her. Though Yagoro had performed the deed, the whole village was guilty of her murder. The villagers who didn't witness the murder but never bothered to ask about Yurei were partially responsible too. It was their fault that Rui's rage had created this ghost, and it was their fault that poor Kiku was suffering. Kasane continued, "All of your ancestors are here with me in hell." She then proceeded to name each of their ancestors and list their crimes. Then Kasane listed all of the crimes of the living villagers. The entire village's pride was shattered as their sins were made public. Kasane demanded that the villagers hold a lavish memorial service and erect a beautiful stone Buddha in her honor to end her suffering. However, the villagers balked at the cost to cover such a funeral. Kasane told them, "My father owned many farms around here. Sell them and use the money to perform the services." The villagers confessed to Kasane that her family's lands had already been sold and distributed. Kasane's wrath exploded. Kiku's body twisted and floated high up into the air, and the poor girl lost consciousness. A wild paras appears. Is that the crab? Word of Kiku's possession and Kasane's curse spread far and wide. It caught the ear of a traveling priest, Saint Yuten. Yuten visited the Yoiman household to offer his prayers and try to save Kiku. He chanted the sutras and prayed with all his effort, but it had no effect. Kasane's grudge was too powerful. Kasane's voice taunted Yuten from Kiku's mouth. Yuten then tried to have Kiku recite the prayers, but Kasane's spirit interrupted, and Kiku was unable to speak. Finally, Yuten grabbed Kiku's hair with all his strength, forcing her face down onto the floor. He made Kiku bow and demanded that she pray. Kiku was finally able to recite the sutra. And suddenly the spirit of Kasane left from her body. She was saved. As Saint Yuten was preparing to leave Hanyu, Yagoro suddenly came to him with dire news. Kiku's possession had returned. Yuten once again traveled to the Yoiman household, this time determined to subdue the curse no matter what the cost. When he encountered Kiku, he grabbed her hair with all of his strength, forced her down onto the floor. As he held her down, demanding she pray, Kiku's voice could be heard faintly mumbling. Yuten bent down close to her mouth and listened. Then he turned to Yagoro. "Does the name Suke mean anything to you?" Oh, ads are going to be starting in 1 minute. I do recommend that you lower your volume so that the ads don't ear blast you. They are a bit loud. Are you Suke? Saint Yuten asked Kiku. Kiku's voice replied, "Yes. When you saved Yurei, you left me behind, and now I possess her." Yuten wasted no time. Wait, I think they meant to say time, but they wrote item. U10 wasted no item. I'm pretty sure they meant time. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, honey. And thank you for refilling my water. I love you. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Yuten wasted no time. He immediately gave Suke a kaimyo, which is a posthumous Buddhist name, and wrote it down on the family altar. Suke's spirit left Kiku's body and entered the altar. Everyone present dropped to the floor and prayed. Kiku eventually remarried and lived a happy and prosperous life. The spirits of Kasane and Suke were never heard from again. They did not deserve that. They didn't. That is so sad. Oh, right. I still need to read from the book. Yeah, I feel like... I don't know. This daughter? Kiku, right? I think that's the name. She did not deserve that possession. What the heck? But also, the other two kids, not the other two kids, the other kid and the wife, gosh, they didn't deserve that. For being quote unquote ugly. I mean, I feel bad for them, really. One second. Okay. I had to fix my posture, but it is all better now. Okay. Let's read about Kasane in the book. Oh, thank you, Chunky King, for contributing to our community challenge. Okay. Kasane was a very popular kabuki character based on the folktale of a farmer drowning his disabled stepson. Excuse me. Which was believed to be the reason for his daughter... it's a different name. Orui, instead of just Rui. Interesting. Okay. Which was believed to be the reason for his daughter Orui being born lame. That's an interesting choice of words. Being born lame and with a deformed face. She became known by the name Kasane, an alternate reading of the character Rui, which means repeat, and is meant to evoke karmic retribution. Yoei-man in... On the website it was Yoei-man, right? Slightly different spelling, that's interesting. Thank you for contributing. Thank you so much. Lahonk. Oh, that's such a cute emote. Hello. Hi, how are you doing? I love frogs, they're so cute. But I hope that you are enjoying the spooky yokai readings. We are currently on Kasane. You're doing well? That's really great to hear. I am also doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm very happy that it is my favorite month. Yeah, I still consider October to be my favorite month over December. So, very happy during these times. Um, Yoiman, a traveler Kasane had nursed to health. Well, now I'm confused. Wait, I thought the person that got nursed back to health was Kasane. Hmm. Yeah, it says she became sick. And then the wandering stranger came to her house and nursed her back to health. But then the book says she nursed him back to health. I don't understand. That's really funny how stories can be alternated and like how there's different versions of the same story. That's funny. Okay, well, let's continue. Yoiman, a traveler Kasane had nursed to health, later married her out of pity, but he became tired of her and killed her with a sickle in a river. Every new woman in her husband's life was then killed by her furious ghost. The story of Kasane first appeared in 1690 in account of the story of a dead spirit's salvation, written by the monk Zanju, a 14-year-old girl who was possessed by what was then believed to be Kasane, suffered from what today would be diagnosed as seizures, abnormal postures, mutism, and shortness of breath. Koma Gamin et al. And was healed by Yuten, a Buddhist exorcist, in 1672. The story was first dramatized in Kabuki in 1731 as a thread in the play Ozumo Fujito Genji, and then became the main focus in 1739 of the play Kasane Gadatsu no Hachisuba. Many others were to follow. While the interpretations in the many Kabuki plays vary, they tend to include the dramatic killing of Kasane by her husband Yoiman using a sickle. In 1807, the writer Takizawa Bakin enlarged and reinterpreted the story in New Kasane Salvation Story, which was illustrated by Katsushika Hokusai. A decade later, Hokusai included a portrait of Kasane's ghost, along with the priest Yuten who performed the exorcism in Hokusai's random sketches. While Kasane does not appear in any of Toriyama Sekin's books on demons, she is included in... turning the page. She is included in the picture book of 100 Stories from 1841, which was meant to be a follow-up to Sekin. There are many woodblock prints depicting Kasane's ghost which relate to specific kabuki performances, and most are drawn in such a way that the actor playing the role is recognizable. One of the most dramatic renderings is part of a series of large head portraits from 1852 showing Ichikawa Kodanjin IV as Kasane alongside Hitodama. Well, that's the end of Kasane. I'm still tied up on on that little part of the story where the website is like, he healed her back to health, and then the book is like, well, she healed him back to health. It's like, I'm wondering why there are two different versions of, the story. Which one is the more correct one? I don't know. I don't know. It's very interesting though. I do like this story. They deserved better. Okay. Up next is Koheiji. Let's just try Kohara first. I feel like this might not be one that pops up if we're unlucky. Yay, we're lucky, we're lucky. Here is Koheiji. Oh, he does not look happy at all. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this ghost is haunting me right now. I am so mad. Oh my goodness. Cause like, what is this expression? Why are you not scared? Why are you not afraid? Why are you so sassy about being haunted? That's hilarious. Okay. Okay, let's read about this yokai. Okay. Kohara Koheiji. Translation: none. This is his name. Excuse me. Appearance. Kohara Koheiji is a famous ghost from Edo period with strong connections to the theater. The real-life events that inspired his ghost story supposedly took place around the year 1700. Over the years, rumor mixed with folklore and fantasy until his story was finally written down 100 years later in 1803's Fukushu Kidan Asaka no Numa, which translates to The Strange Tale of Revenge from Asaka Swamp. A wild peek-a-peck. His story was adapted into the kabuki play Irori Otogizoshi, which translates to colorful fairy tales. Shortly after that, he remained a popular figure throughout the Edo period. Oh, good luck, honey. I hope you catch it. The ghost of Kohara Koheiji is said to jealously guard its status as the best ghost actor. To this day, actors who perform Irori Otogizoshi or other adaptations of his story are haunted by strange occurrences, suspicious accidents, and even injuries. Legends. During the time when Ichikawa Danjuro II commanded the stage, there lived a third-rate actor named Kohara Koheiji. He was part of the Morita-za theater troupe and studied under Master Unagi Tarobe. Koheiji was a terrible actor. Oh, on top of that, he was unattractive. These people are getting roasted. I feel so bad. He had pale, languid skin, sunken, flat eyes, and disheveled hair. He was unable to land even the smallest roles in any of Edo's kabuki productions. Koheiji's manager felt sorry for him and resorted to bribing and begging to find something, anything, for the struggling actor to perform. Finally, he landed a part for Koheiji with a traveling show in the countryside, where the audiences were far less demanding than they were in Edo. Because his poor appearance allowed the producers to save money on makeup, Koheiji was cast as a ghost. They are so rude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Koheiji believed this to be his last chance to make it as an actor, and so he did everything he could to make his role believable. He studied the faces of dead, making note of the way their muscles fell limp and eyes stared blankly. He copied their rigid, lifeless poses. He practiced speaking in a haunting voice and walking with an eerie gracefulness. His hard work paid off. His acting was widely acclaimed. He was suddenly the talk of the countryside. The other actors in his troupe admitted finally that Koheiji was good at one thing, being a ghost. Koheiji was married to a woman named Otsuka. Otsuka had been the widow of the disgraced Ikushima Hanroku, an actor who was executed for stabbing and killing the great Ichikawa Tanjiro first publicly on stage. Koheiji loved Otsuka deeply, but she was embarrassed by her husband and thought him a fool. She fell out of love with Koheiji and into the arms of another performer in the Moritaza, a taiko player named Adachi Sakuro. While Koheiji was away acting in the countryside, Sakuro lived in Koheiji's house in Edo with Otsuka, pretending to be the master of the house. Eventually, Otsuka asked Sakuro to get rid of Koheiji so that they could be together forever. At the time, Koheiji was performing in rural Osaka, in present-day Fukushima Prefecture. Sakuro's brother, a bandit named Unpei, lived nearby, and Sakuro would acquire his help in getting rid of Koheiji. Sakuro traveled to Osaka. Koheiji was surprised and delighted that his troupe mate had come to join his performance. Sakuro played the drums, while Koheiji played a ghost, and the audience was highly entertained. Among them was the local magistrate, who awarded Koheiji a sum of 5 golden ryo. Ryo. It's a very gracious sum for his performance. Between shows, Sakuro and Unpei planned the murder. One day, the performance was cancelled due to rain. Sakuro invited Koheiji out to the swamp to go fishing. Once they were far away from any observers, Sakuro struck Koheiji with his fishing rod and knocked him off the boat and into the swamp. Then he thrust his head down into the water and held him there until Koheiji drowned. His body sank to the bottom of the swamp. Sakuro fled the swamp and went to Unpei's secret hideout. Unpei was there, and he told Sakuro that his guest had already arrived. He took Sakuro into the next room, where Koheiji's waterlogged body lay on the floor. Sakuro was shocked. How did that get here? He asked. Unpei said that it was already there when he arrived. Sakuro opened up Koheiji's sleeve and took out the 5 golden ryo, which had been paid to Koheiji. Ha! Now his money and his wife are mine. What the heck? Suddenly, Koheiji's body rattled and rolled over. With hands as cold as ice and strong as iron, he grabbed Sakuro's wrist. Sakuro screamed and tried to get free, but the corpse was locked onto his arm. He tugged and yanked his wrist harder and harder until the corpse flopped on top of his own body. Koheiji's eyes popped open, and he locked his gaze upon Sakuro. Sakuro screamed. Unpei heard this and rushed into the room. The corpse was lying on top of his brother, eyes locked in a vengeful stare. Sakuro was paralyzed with fear. Unpei tried to pull the corpse off of his brother, but it wouldn't budge. Unpei drew his sword. He lopped off Koheiji's head in a single stroke. The head rolled across the room, but the rest of him still gripped Sakuro's wrist tightly. Finally, Unpei cut each of the hand's fingers off individually. Sakura was freed. Without a moment's delay, Sakura fled out the door. He didn't stop until he reached Ido. When Sakura arrived at the Kohara residence, he called out for Otsuka. In a panic, he rapidly told her everything that happened: the murder, the ghost, the icy cold grip of the corpse, and its hateful eyes. Otsuka was confused. Koheiji just got home a little while ago. He was tired, so he's resting in the back room. Sakura couldn't believe it. He took Otsuka's hand and timidly crept into the house, towards the room where Koheiji was sleeping. When Sakura entered the bedroom, he saw someone sleeping behind a folding screen. He tried to pull the screen away, but a pale, blue-tinged hand grabbed the end of it and held it fast. Sakura did not give up. He pulled as hard as he could. There was a popping sound. The folding screen crashed to the floor along with Sakura. 5 severed fingers rolled around on the floor and instantly began to rot. The sickening smell of death filled the room, but there was no body behind the folding screen. A tiny flame floated up into the air and flew out the window. Sakura was terrified. However, Otsuka was undisturbed. If anything, she seemed relieved that Koheiji was finally dead. She soon arranged for a funeral, and then for a wedding. That's crazy. Okay, Sakura and Otsuka lived as husband and wife. Half a year passed without any further disturbances. They forgot about Koheiji altogether. Then, one night, Sakura awoke to find another man in the bed between himself and Otsuka. He leapt to his feet in a rage, but there was no one there. From that moment, Sakura began to doubt Otsuka's fidelity. One night, while returning home from drinking late at night, Sakura saw a figure climb into his bedroom window. When he peeked in, he saw another man in bed with Otsuka. In a drunken rage, he ran into the house and drew his sword. Otsuka awoke in a panic, and without thinking, she raised her hand in defense. In doing so, she grabbed the sword's blade. All 5 of her fingers were severed. The fingers fell to the floor and rotted away, filling the room with the smell of death. The mysterious stranger was nowhere to be seen. A cackling laugh could be heard from above them. It was Koheiji's voice. Otsuka lost her mind and fell to the floor in shock. Every night, the ghost returned to haunt them. As the haunting continued, Sakura began to lose his mind too. In life, Koheiji had so perfected his ghost act that it was indistinguishable from the real thing. In death, Koheiji's performance was terrifying and sublime. Otsuka never recovered from her madness and died soon after. Hello, hello, hello! Hi, boy. Hello. How are you doing? Otsuka's treatments had cost Sakura nearly everything he owned, including the 5 golden ryo he had stolen from Koheiji. Sakura gave up his few remaining coins to hold a funeral for Otsuka. However, the priest who he hired was a con artist, and ran off with the last of Sakura's money. Well, probably deserved. Doing great? That's really good to hear. I'm also doing great, thank you so much for asking. Where were we? Penniless and insane, Sakura was forced to live as a beggar. One day he thought he saw the priest who had tricked him. Oh. Thank you so much for the follow. Your name is as cozy as a warm drink on a spooky night. Oh, that's cute. But yes, thank you so much for the follow. Please enjoy your stay. We are reading about yokai, which are Japanese demons. And yeah, I hope that's your thing. We are currently reading about Kohara Koheji. Let me go ahead and show you the picture. A little bit spooky, but I still find this the expression so funny. Like just so like sassy that he's being haunted. It's so funny. Interesting, yeah. I'm so glad you think so. Okay. I was here. Okay. Penniless and insane, Sakura was forced to live as a beggar. One day he thought he saw the priest who had tricked him and stolen his money. Sakura chased after him, but the priest swung his staff and beat Sakura severely, knocking him off the road and into a pond. Then the bruised, soaked Sakura realized that it was not the same priest after all. He crawled out of the pond and apologized, but the priest struck Sakura over and over, beating him nearly to death. Some strangers broke up the fight. They took Sakura back to his house to rest, but his wounds were severe and he fell into a fevered insanity. All night his neighbors could hear him crying in delirium. He never woke up. When they found him the next day, Sakura was bloated and discolored, just like that of a drowned corpse. Sometime later, the great Ichikawa Danjuro II heard of the story of the famous ghost actor Kohara Kohechi's tragic murder. He pitied him and offered prayers in his honor. As he prayed, the drowned ghost of Kohechi appeared behind him. Kohechi, you were only ever good at being a ghost, said Danjuro. With that final recognition, Kohechi's ghost seemed content and vanished. Aw, I feel so bad for Kohechi. He did not deserve that. A wild golette appears, if anyone would like to try to catch it. Oh man. Yeah, I feel really bad for Kohechi. I feel really bad. His wife cheated on him. The guy she cheated with murdered him. I mean, you know what? Good for him for haunting both of them. They poor guy. I know, right? I think they the wife and the guy who murdered him, they got what they deserved. They did. They really did. So, I liked this story a lot, actually. That was really good. I still, I'm sorry. The expression is just so funny. Okay. Let's go ahead and read about Kohara Kohechi from the book that I have. So, the story is not over yet. Let's see how different the story is gonna be. That seems to be a common pattern at this part in the book. The story seems to be alternating. Like, there's always something slightly different, which I find very interesting. And it makes me wonder, what point in history or in storytelling did they decide to switch things up a little bit? Okay, let's continue. Kohara Kohechi is a fictional character invented by the writer Santo Kyoden in his 1803 novel Strange Tales of Revenge at Asaka Swamp, which then reappeared in his 1807 book The Following Day's Vengeance at Asaka Swamp. Kyoden conceived Kohechi as an actor who specialized in ghost roles until he finally was murdered in a swamp by his wife and her lover. But since Kohechi was so well versed in ghostly matters, he returns from the grave and haunts his murderers until they are dead. Good for him, good for him. By 1808, the playwright Tsuruya Nanboku had adapted the story for kabuki under the title Iro Iri Otogizoshi. The premiere at the Ichimura Theater featured the popular actor Onoe Matsusuke II as both the living and deceased Kohechi. It was not until the 1850s that Kohechi became the main character in two new kabuki plays, Kaidan Kohara Kohechi in 1853 and Kohara no Kai Ame mo Furunuma in 1859. A number of woodblock prints that directly relate to kabuki performances and show the murder of Kohechi or his reappearance as a ghost were designed by artists such as Uragawa Toyokuni and his student Uragawa Kunisada. Some of the compositions show both events, others just one. The most striking visualization of Kohechi, however, is not directly related to a play, but was conceived by Katsushika Hokusai around 1831 for a series of ghost prints. Kohechi is depicted as a skeleton that emerges from his recent burial and is now hovering over the bed of his wife, who is lying with her lover. Kohechi emerges from the smoke and pulls aside the mosquito net with his bony hands, staring with bloodshot eyes at his murderers, who are, however, not shown. Hokusai's portrait inspired other artists, such as his own student, Hokue, who used it for an actor print double in size, and with Kohechi's wife in the center. She is holding a hanging scroll inscribed with the prayer Namu Amida Butsu, that is evoking salvation through Amida Buddha. Some 60 years later, Uragawa Yoshiku revisited Hokusai's designs for his ghost series, and in his Kohechi print now also includes Kohechi's haunted wife. Interesting. They didn't go as much into detail as the website did. That's okay. I think the book really mainly just focuses on like the history, not so much the story sometimes, so that's okay. The story and the history are both important aspects. Okay, up next is Oiwa. Oiwa. Oiwa, Oiwa, Oiwa. Are you Oiwa? Yes, you are. Hello. You look interesting. Spooky, spooky. She's in like a lantern on fire. Goodness. Okay. Let us read about Oiwa. Okay. Oiwa, translation, a girl's name meaning rock. Imagine being named Rock. I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, I guess Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't have to imagine, huh? Sorry. Okay. Appearance. Oiwa is the tragic and terrifying Onryo from Tatsuya Kaiden, the ghost story of Yotsuya. Along with Okiku and Otsuyu, she is one of the Nihon Sandai Kaidan, Japan's big three ghost stories. Oiwa's story is based on real people who lived in 17th century Edo. Their story was dramatized in the 1825 Kabuki play Tokaido Yotsuya Kaidan, which became very popular and cemented Oiwa's place as Japan's most famous ghost. Countless variations and adaptations of her tale followed. The real Oiwa died in 1636. It is rumored that her onryo still haunts the place she lived, as well as those who perform her story. Mysterious disasters and deaths occurring around a number of productions, including theater, film, and television adaptations, have been blamed on the curse of Oiwa's ghost. There have been numerous attempts to appease her angry spirit. A small shrine and a temple dedicated to Oiwa were erected on the ruins of her family's house in Yotsuya. After a fire destroyed the shrine in 1879, Oiwa's shrine was moved to another part of Tokyo. The shrine was again destroyed in the fire bombings of World War II. After the war, her new shrine as well as the original location in Yotsuya were both rebuilt. A gravestone at Myogyo-ji in Sugano, Tokyo is widely believed to be Oiwa's actual grave. It is customary for actors and crews putting on a production of Yotsuya Kaidan to visit Oiwa's grave to pay their respects. Legends. Oiwa was married to samurai named Iemon. It was not a happy marriage, for Iemon was a wasteful man and a thief. I have 200 points I want to use towards the Yandere ASMR, but it won't let me add the points. Dude, I think the maximum you can do in one stream is 2,000. So if you did that amount already, it probably won't let you do any more today. So there's always next time. But thank you for being so, is excited the right word? I'm happy that you want to use your points for it. Oh, you did? Oh, thank you. I'm very excited for the Yandere roleplay. I feel like I just have a few more things to kind of plan for it, and then I'll be good to go, I think. I'm excited, but I'm not quite ready. But that's okay. I'll be ready very soon. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while. I don't know. Just wanted to throw that in there. Okay. One day, Oiwa decided to leave her husband and return to her family home. Iemon followed after her, but was stopped by Oiwa's father, Yotsuya Samon. Samon knew of Iemon's misdeeds, that he had stolen money from his employer, and he demanded that Iemon divorce Oiwa. Iemon drew his sword and murdered Samon. Iemon returned to Oiwa and lied that a stranger had killed her father on the road. He begged her to reconcile, and he promised to avenge her father's murder. What the heck? What the heck? Okay. These stories are always so crazy. Oh goodness, okay. Sometime after that, Oiwa became pregnant and bore Iemon a son. Times were hard. They had little money. Oiwa became sickly after giving birth, and Iemon grew resentful of Oiwa. Next to their home lived a rich doctor named Ito Kihei. He had a beautiful granddaughter named Uome. Uome was instantly attracted to Iemon. Why? He's such a bad man. And wanted to marry him. The doctor loved his granddaughter and conspired to help her marry Iemon. Why? He prescribed an ointment for Oiwa to help her recover from her sickness. In reality, it was a poison which horribly disfigured her face. Seeing Oiwa's scarred face, Iemon's resentment turned into hatred. Afterwards, Kihei suggested that Iemon divorce Oiwa and marry his granddaughter instead. If he were to marry Uume, all of the wealth of the Ito family could be his to inherit. Iemon was so disgusted by Oiwa's face, and Uume was so young and attractive that he agreed. Gross. Disgusting. Iemon began pawning Oiwa's possessions, her kimono, her clothes, even their son's clothes, to have enough money to marry Uume. Because he needed a legitimate reason to divorce his wife, Iemon hired his friend. Oh, that's gross. I'm not gonna read that. Okay, well, anyway. On a prearranged night, when Iemon was out of the house, Taketsu entered and approached Oiwa. Upon seeing her face, he was so frightened that he abandoned his orders. Takuetsu explained Iemon's plan to Oiwa, and then showed her a mirror. Oiwa had not known what the ointment had done to her face. When she saw her reflection, she was horrified. She tried to cover the disfigurement by brushing her hair over it, but when she touched her hair, it fell out in large, bloody clumps. Oiwa went mad. She grabbed a nearby sword and punctured her own throat. As Oiwa lay on the floor bleeding to death, she repeatedly cursed Iemon's name until she could breathe no more. Excuse me. Oiwa's body was discovered by Iemon's servant, Kohei. When Kohei delivered the news to Iemon, instead of becoming upset, Iemon was overjoyed. Kohei became suspicious of Iemon, but before he could do anything, Iemon murdered Kohei. He nailed Kohei's and Oiwa's bodies to a door and disposed of them in a river. Afterwards, he made up a lie that Kohei and Oiwa had been sleeping together. He was finally free to marry Uume. Oiwa's curse did not wait long to take effect. On his wedding nights to Uume, Iemon had trouble sleeping. He rolled over in bed and saw right next to his face the horrible, disfigured face of Oiwa's ghost. He grabbed his sword and slashed out at the ghost. Just then, the illusion ended, and Iemon saw that it was not Oiwa he had cut, but Uume. His new bride lay dead on the floor. Terrified, Iemon ran next door to see his new father-in-law's help. However, when he got to the Ito house, he was confronted by the ghost of the murdered Kohei. Once again, Iemon slashed with his sword, but no sooner had he done so than the illusion ended and he saw Ito Kie. Kohei's... Kihei? Kohei? I swear they always mix up the spelling. I think it's Kohei. Ito Kohei's slain body laying on the floor. Oh, a wild shinx appears. Good luck, honey, good luck. Afterwards, Iemon fled into the night, but Oiwa's Onryo pursued him. Everywhere he went, Oiwa's ghost was there. Her ruined face haunted his dreams. Her terrible voice cried out to him for vengeance. She even appeared to him in the paper lanterns that lit his way. Eventually, Iemon ran into the mountains, where he hid in an isolated cabin. But Oiwa followed him there, too. Haunted by Oiwa's ghost, no longer able to tell nightmare from reality, Iemon descended into madness. Good. He deserves it. Yeah, he's a bad person, so I don't feel bad for him. Yeah, you caught the shinx. Good job, good job. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Let's read about Oiwa in the book. After after I fix my posture real quick. 1 second. Okay. All better. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. The book goes, Oiwa is the archetypical ghost in Japan, and without doubt the most famous one because she is the protagonist in the popular play Tokaido Yotsuya Kaidan, written in 1825 by the playwright Tsuruya Nanboku IV. Nanboku IV drew from various sources, including historical records, like the book Chatter About Yotsuya, also known as Yotsuya Soran, which reports of a mistreated wife who sought vengeance during the Genroku era, which is 1688 through 1704. The Oiwa Inari Tamiya Shrine in Yotsuya in Tokyo's Shinjuku district is said to have been built in memory of an Oiwa who died in 1636. Oiwa's story briefly appeared in books from the 1800s, but it was Nanboku IV who popularized I cannot talk sometimes. Popularized the story. In Nanboku IV's adaptations for Kabuki, Oiwa is married to Tamiya Ieman, but after giving birth to a child, her husband is no longer interested in her. Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She is tricked into taking poison by a friend of her husband. The bleeding that ensues causes her face to become horribly disfigured. The friend is a neighbor whose granddaughter Ieman plans to marry after getting rid of Oiwa. Oiwa is overcome with rage and loses her hair when combing it, further spoiling her appearance. To be able to legally claim her assets in a divorce, her philandering husband frames her for adultery. Seeing no other solution to her situation, Oiwa commits suicide, cursing her husband. Ieman returns home to find his dead wife along with the manservant Kohei, who witnessed the suicide. Ieman kills Kohei and nails both corpses on either side of a wooden door that he then throws into a canal. Oiwa's ghost returns to take revenge on her husband. Ieman looks at his new wife, mistakenly sees Oiwa and kills her. He then sees Kohei and his wife's grandfather and kills him as well. He flees, and while wandering about without any position or income, he fishes in a river. But all he pulls out is a wooden door with the bodies of Oiwa and Kohei attached to it. Finally, Ieman seeks shelter at the remote and rat-infested Snake Mountain Hermitage. Oiwa's ghost emerges from a paper lantern and confronts Ieman, affirming that he will be haunted until the end of his days. In the premiere of Nanboku IV's Kabuki adaptation, Onoe Kikuguro III played the triple role of Oiwa, her ghost, and Kohei. Since its premiere, Tokaido Yotsuya Kaidan has been updated with special effects and remains popular today. Later versions of Nanboku IV's original story include characters that have probably received new names. For example, Tamiya Ieman is sometimes called Kamiya Nieman. Interesting. For his Ghost series in the early 1830s, Katsushika Hokusai adopted the paper lantern motif and depicted it as a skull minus its jaw. His student, Hokue, revisited this motif for an actor print by adding Ieman, who is about to draw his sword in defense. 3 dramatic scenes in the play are the most popular subjects of woodblock prints. Oiwa's ghost appearing from a lantern, the moment when the poison is taking effect, and the dumping of the corpses in the canal. I mean, this seems like a play that I would really like to watch. if what the book says is true, that it's still popular today, I would like to watch it. Okay. Up next we have Okiku. Okiku, Okiku. Okiku. Okay. So we have 2 Okikus. Okay, the book does say there are many versions in local legends. And in theaters of the story of Okiku's revenge. So, assuming... Oh no, Kasami's here too. That's funny. Interesting. Okay, let's just read the one that is the exact same name, Okiku. Is she in a well? I don't know what is surrounding her. It kind of looks like coins. I don't know. That's interesting. Let's see. Okay, Okiku. Translation. A girl's name meaning chrysanthemum. I said that right, I think. Chrysanthemum. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a type of flower. Appearance. Okiku was the name of a servant girl who lost a precious plate, died a terrible death, and returned as a vengeful ghost. Okay. That was an interesting sentence. Along with Oiwa and Otsuyu, Okiku's tale is one of the Nihon Sandai Kadan, Japan's big 3 ghost stories. Her story has been retold countless times in folk tales, puppet theater, kabuki, film, and manga. What? Cool. Through the general outline of her story Though the general outline of her story remains the same, the names, locations, and surroundings details vary quite a bit from telling to telling. The most famous version of her story is called Bancho Sarayashiki. Bancho Sarayashiki, which means the dish manor at Bancho. It takes place in Himeji, or present-day Hyogo Prefecture. Legends. Long ago, there was a woman named Okiku who worked as a dishwashing servant at Himeji Castle. Okiku was very beautiful, and it was not long before she caught the eye of one of her master's retainers, a samurai named Aoyama. Aoyama tried many times to seduce Okiku, but each time she rejected his advances. I think he needs to take no for an answer. Eventually, Aoyama grew impatient with Okiku and decided to trick her into becoming his lover. What? In the castle there was a set of 10 very expensive dishes. Aoyama hid one of them and then called for Okiku. He told her one of his master's fine dishes was missing and demanded to know where it was. Okiku became frightened. Losing one of her lord's prized dishes was a crime punishable by death. She counted the dishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She recounted them again and again. Each time she came up one short. Okiku was distraught. Aoyama told Okiku that he would overlook her mistake and tell his master that it wasn't Okiku who lost the dish, but only if she would become his mistress. Though Okiku wanted to live, she once again refused Aoyama. This time the samurai became furious. He ordered his servants to beat Okiku with a wooden sword. Bro, what the heck? Literally, what the heck? Afterwards, he had tied her up and suspended her over the castle well. He tortured Okiku, repeatedly dunking her into the well, only to pull her back out of the water and beat her himself. Bruh. Aoyama demanded one last time that Okiku become his mistress. She refused. So Aoyama struck her violently with his sword and dropped her body down into the well. Not long after, Okiku's ghost was seen wandering the castle grounds. Night after night, she would rise from the well and enter her master's house, searching for the missing dish. She would count the plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After counting the ninth plate, she would let out a blood-curdling scream that could be heard throughout the castle. She tormented Aoyama in this way every night, robbing him of his rest. Those who heard part of Okiku's counting became very sick. Those unlucky enough to hear her count all the way to 9 died shortly after. Finally, the lord of the castle decided that something had to be done about Okiku's ghost. He called a priest and asked him to pray for her and exorcise her spirit. The priest waited in the garden all night, chanting sutras. Once again, Okiku's ghost rose out of the well. She began to count the dishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As soon as Okiku counted the ninth dish, and before she could scream, the priest shouted out, 10. Okiku's ghost appeared relieved that someone had found the missing dish. From then on, she never haunted the castle again. Poor Okiku. That's so sad. So the things surrounding her are not coins, they are dishes. Huh, okay, well. A wild rufflet appears. If anyone would like to attempt and catch it. But yeah, poor Okiku. She did not deserve that. How many is in this picture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, only 9. No happy ending for the picture, but it seems like in the story she was able to finally move on. So that is good. That is good. Excuse me. Let's us read from the book about Okiku. There are many versions in local legends and in theaters of the story of Okiku's revenge. At the heart of the story that is widely known today, Okiku is a young maid in a samurai mansion during the second half of the 17th century. One of a set of 10 precious dishes gets broken and Okiku is blamed for it. The mansion owner punishes her by throwing her down a well to her death. Okiku reappears as a vengeful ghost, slowly counting. Oh, ads will be starting in 30 seconds. If you are not subscribed, you may want to lower your volume. slowly counting to 9 and then eerily shrieking. How the dish got broken varies from her breaking it because she was clumsy, to her being innocent because the mistress of the house tried to conceal that she broke it, to the master deliberately removing it in an attempt to force his guilt-ridden servant to become his lover. In some versions, Okiku throws herself down the well to escape both the advances of her master and the possibility of being publicly accused of theft. The story sometimes ends with an exorcist shouting 10 at the end of Okiku's counting, appeasing her ghost since it appears that the last dish has been found. Within Within Kabuki, the history of the story of Okiku's revenge, better known as Sarayashiki or Dish Mansion, goes as far back as 1720, when there was a performance in Osaka. But the impetus? I don't know how to say that. The impetus for this and what exactly was performed is unclear. In 1741, Asada Icho and Tamenaga Tarobe wrote the play Banshu Sarayashiki for the puppet theater, which premiered in Osaka and continued to be performed there sporadically. In 1765, the playwrights Kanai Sancho and Okuno Sasuke integrated elements of Banshu's Sarayashiki into Mieto Boshi Ayuo Komachi, okay, which was the premiere of the Okiku Ghost story on the Kabuki stage in Edo, which is today's Tokyo, but it did not lead to a wave of interest. The puppet play Banshu Sarayashiki was adapted to the Kabuki stage in 1824 for a performance in Osaka, which was restaged there and also in Kyoto in 1848. In Edo, it took almost 100 years until there was another appearance on the Kabuki stage. Minori Yoshi Kogane no Kikuzuki, written by Sagawa Joko III in 1850, and Sarayashiki Keisho no Sugatami, written by Kawataki Shinshichi II in 1863. From 1758, the storyteller Baba Bunko had retold the Okiku story in Edo, which he renamed Bancho Sarayashiki, but it was not performed in Kabuki theaters until 1916, when the playwright Okamoto Kido released his adaptation, which is a psychological relationship drama and significantly different from the original puppet theater version of a supernatural ghost story. Very interesting how it changes over time. Okay. Alright, up next we have Sakura Sogo or Asakura Togo. Let's try the first name and see if anything pops up. Sakura Sogo. Let's see. Nope, nothing. Let's try the other name. Asakura Togo. Just slightly different. No, nothing for that either. Let's see if there's a different name. Let's try Kiyuchi Sogoro. Konichi. Sogoro. Nope. What the heck? Okay, well, let me at least find a picture. Hide that for just a second. Sakura Soku. Let's try that again. Try it again. Just need a picture. Okay, I'll show the picture that is displayed in the book. Open image. Okay. Here is. Oops, okay. There we are. And let's read in the book. Okay. Sakura Sogo, or Asakura Togo. And it goes like this. After the Tokugawa shogunate forbade the dramatizing of people who lived during their reign, playwrights were forced to adapt the names of historical figures. For example, the Kabuki character for Asakura Togo was based on the true story of the peasant farmer Kiyoshi Sogoro, who became better known under the name Sakura Sogo. Historical records reveal that in the 8th lunar month of 1653, Sogo and his 4 children were executed for an unspecified crime by order of the local lord Hotta Masanobu, who Sogo cursed during his execution. Historically unverified is the legend that Sogo was executed for rebelling against his greedy lord. Taxes were paid in the form of rice, but Sogo and other farmers in his village had barely enough left to survive. What would have been unthinkable at this time, Sogo is said to have petitioned the shogun directly and secured tax relief for his village. His lord, not able to accept this humiliation, then ordered the execution of Sogo and his family. While crucified, Sogo had to witness the killing of his family and vowed to return from the grave to avenge them. The story was dramatized for Kabuki in 1851 by the playwright Sagawa Joko III as Higashiyama Sakura Zoshi, and was set in the Muromachi period, which is 1336 through 1573. His contemporary, Kawatake Shichi II, followed in 1861 with the adaptation Sakura Soshi Gonichi Bundan, better known as Sakura Gimiden. In both plays, Asakura Togo was played by the popular actor Ichikawa Kodanji IV. The evil lord is renamed Orikoshi Tario Masatomo. It was the first time that a farmer had become the protagonist in a kabuki play. The character Sogo seems to have not become a prominent subject in the visual arts of Japan other than in actor prints that relate to specific kabuki performances. One frequent motif of these actor prints is the crucifixion of Sogo, which includes Hitodama, the human soul. The other is how the Lord Masatomo, with a drawn sword in his hand, is trying to fend off the ghost of Sogo that is haunting him. Goodness. pretty crazy that the Lord at that time felt humiliated by this petition. Basically, that's all it was a petition. To, leave enough rice for the people to literally survive. Just crazy, really. So crazy. Okay, up next, we have Sagan? Sagan. I think I'm saying it correctly. I don't know for sure. No! Okay. Do you have another name besides Sagan? Let's try Shiragiku. Shiragiku. Nothing either for Shiragiku. Yeah, maybe there's just nothing about this one on the website. It's okay. I will at least find a picture. So, 1 second, please. 1 second. Sagan. Okay. Images. A wild tranquil appears if anyone would like to try catching it. Okay. Which one is? I guess it's this one. Oh no. Let me do this one. This one is better. Open image. There we go. Okay. Here we have, I think this is the ghost. This is Shiragiku, but I guess we're actually mainly reading about the guy. I don't know. Actually, I'm not too sure how this is going to play out. But anyway, let us continue. Okay. Sagan. The priest, Sagan, fell in love with the young and pretty Shiragiku. Humiliated by other priests, the two men resolved to commit double suicide. Wow. But Sagan accidentally survives and only Shiragiku dies. Okay, so yes. She is the ghost. 17 years later, Sagan is now at the Kiyomizu Temple, where he performs a ritual for the stunningly beautiful Princess Sakura. He determines that she is the reincarnation of Shiragiku and falls in love with her. Sagan then loses his status and honor for being accused of seducing her. he is accidentally stabbed by Princess Sakura and then returns as a restless ghost, still seeking love. The origin of this story is unclear, and how it became a topic in Japanese theater is also murky. The appearance in the kabuki play Ishin Futagawa Shiramichi by the playwright Chikamatsu Monzemon, which premiered in 1698, could be the first. It was followed in 1727 by Konrei Otowa no Taki. The story was very popular in kabuki and the subject of many different plays, but the reappearing ghost is especially significant. In Koigoro-mo, Karigane Zome, performed in 1852. Not all plots have survived, but it is clear that each offered some sort of variation on the main story. A notable difference in Sumidagawa Hana no Goshozome, written in 1814 by Tsuruya Nanboku IV, in which Nanboku IV swapped the gender of the main characters and Seigen became a nun. An early diptych, I've never heard of that before, by Katsukawa Shuncho, is related to a version performed in early 1783, showing the actor Ichikawa Danjuro V in a skeleton costume that represents the ghost of Seigen as he is pursuing Princess Sakura. Excuse me. Seigen as a ghost under a willow tree during rain is depicted by Utagawa Toyokuni in relation to a performance from 1810 in which both this role and Princess Sakura were played by the same actor, Onoe Matsusuke the second. Tsukioka Yoshitoshi contributed 3 designs related to Seigen within 18 months, each remarkable in its own right. Picture of the depravity of monk Seigen shows the emaciated Seigen at night tightly holding onto Princess Sakura's luxurious robe and dreaming of her. In complete contrast is picture of Seigen's ghost yearning for Princess Sakura. Another night scene, but this time showing Princess Sakura shielding herself from the ghostly appearance of Seigen's shadow behind her. Neither print is related to a kabuki performance, but the portrait of Onoe Kikugoro V is showing him as the priest Sogen who desires Princess Orikoto, yet another variation on the Seigen theme that first appeared in 1862. Interesting. I don't think I have anything to say about that one. It was pretty straightforward. I mean, yeah, it was okay. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of that story, but it happened. It is a part of history. Okay, up next we have Takayama Kengyo. This feels like another one that may not appear on the website. But let's see. Nope. Do you have another name? let's try Kengyo. Kengyo. Kengyo, Kengyo, Kengyo. Oh my gosh. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Kengyo. Takayama Kengyo. Let's at least find a picture. Okay. Open image. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Okay, let's see. Takayama Kengyo. And it goes Takayama Tanichi, a historic figure who lived around 1600, was a blind monk who narrated tales while singing Heikyoku and playing the lute, also known as biwa. He is better known as Takayama Kengyo, with Kengyo being the highest title given to a blind official at the court. A major narrative in his repertoire were war tales such as the tale of the Heiki, about the 12th century struggle between the Taira and Minamoto clans for the control of Japan. A student of Matsumoto Kengyo, Takayama is said to have performed, like his master, for the shoguns Tokugawa Ieyasu and Hidetada, who ruled over Japan. Takayama Kengyo conceived a new style of hikyoku, which became known as the Takayama style. The playwright Sagawa Joku III included Takayama in a new play he wrote for Kabuki in 1853 called Hanano no Saga Nekomata Zoshi, which retold a legend about the foundation of the Saga domain in today's Saga Prefecture on Kyushu. That legend contains a supernatural cat, also known as Bakeneko, and does not shine a favorable light on the second feudal lord of Saga, Nabeshima Mitsushige. Bakeneko mentioned, yeah! The Saga domain, under its 10th lord, Nabeshima Naomasa, filed a complaint about this kabuki play and the performance was banned. The popular actor Ichikawa Kodanji IV was the main performer in this short-lived production, and he played several roles, including the supernatural cat, as well as Takayama. The woodblock prints related to this performance, which seem to have been designed by Utagawa Kunisada and no other artist. Visualize that the blind Takayama was killed by Yatsushiro Genba, who buried his body in a wall from which Takayama's ghost would emerge to haunt the people responsible. The ban on Hanano no Saga Nekomata Zoshi remained in place throughout the entire Edo period, and it was not until 1896 that this play was once again produced in Tokyo. Wow. That's rude. Just let the play be, you know? It's just a play. But I understand that certain rulers at the time don't like it when certain what am I looking for? Certain media, I guess, is portrayed. So they just, they say no, no, no. And if you do it, you get punished. So, unfortunate. Okay, up next is Uto Yasukata. I feel like this person is also not going to be on the website. I think we're at a point in the book where we're talking about people more so than yokai. So I don't really think they're gonna appear in or on the website anymore. Not until we get to Oni, which is quite a few pages away. But that's okay. I'm still going to keep trying to see if they're on the website because hey, we might get surprised, right? So let's see, Uto Yasukata. Let's see. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. It's okay, let's find a picture. Yasukata. He has an interesting hairstyle. But I am not one to judge. I just personally would not have this hairstyle. Uh-oh, it's so small, I need to zoom in. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, that might be too big. Okay. That's good. Okay. Prepare your eyes for a very interesting hairstyle. Hello. A wild Algium appears. I think I said that right. I don't know. Okay. Excuse me. I had a yawn. I never know how to say that Pokemon's name. The evolution is even crazier, I think. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Behiam? What? Behiam? Oh, what the heck? That's funny. Okay. Let's see. Uto Yasukata. The historical Uto Yasukata was a commander and follower of the provincial magnate Taira Masakado, who is known to have led the first recorded rebellion against the imperial government. After Yasukata's death, he is said to have appeared as a ghost to Masakado's son, Yoshikado, to discourage him from revolting. In Kabuki, Yasukata is a character in the 1802 play Toki ni Oshu Tsubo no Ishibumi, as well as in Jo Hanakata Koi Muko Genji 3 years later. His story became more widespread through the success of the biography of the loyal Uto Yasukata, written by the popular poet Santo Kyoden, and published in 1806 with illustrations by Utagawa Toyokuni. portraits of Yasukata as a ghost are rare, but two half-length actor prints survive. The earlier dates from 1852 and is by Utagawa Kunisada, who depicted the actor Onoe Kikugoro III in this role in an imaginary performance, since Kikugoro III had died 3 years earlier. 42 years later, Kunisada's student Toyohara Kunichika revisited the Yasukata character to portray Kikugoro III's grandson, Onoe Kikugoro V. Oh, hello, Lamia. Hello. How are you doing? We are currently reading about yokai. Hey, oh, there's a ghost in the door. That's just our friend. Lamia VT, the arcane dragon, has descended from their royal lineage to grace us with their presence. This enchanting VTuber is exploring the digital realm, seeking to entertain and connect with their audience. From woodland adventures to heart-stealing escapades, Lamia's streams promise a delightful mix of chill vibes and exciting journeys. Oh. You're doing okay? That's good to hear. That's good. Oh yeah, currently I have a community challenge going where if we reach 30,000, I think I said it was, channel points, I'm gonna do a yandere roleplay. Oh gosh, I'm excited, nervous, unprepared. Oh, thank you so much for contributing. We're almost a third of the way there. That is so crazy to me. Oh gosh. Oh. Thank you so much for my onesie. It's so cute. Had to do it. I'm very excited for it. I tried copying that emote, but my model is lagging a lot today. Very sad. You know, it might have something to do with the fact that I have less than a megabyte of storage space left on my laptop. That might not be a good thing. But it's okay. I will figure it out and sort it out later. Oh my gosh, that contributes to that? I'm assuming so, because earlier today when I opened VTube Studio, it gave me this warning because of my lack of storage space that the quality, or the performance rather, may be a bit slower because of my lack of storage space, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's just how it is, I guess. So I gotta delete some stuff later, I guess, if I want my model to run better. You're gonna ignore Nightbot. But dang, I didn't know that. Me neither. I really didn't know that either. But alas, I will deal with it another time. It's gonna be such a pain trying to play all the spooky games I want to play this month because of that problem. Storage space. I'm just gonna have to play a game, delete it, play another game, delete it. You're so fancy, you said, alas. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I didn't know that was a fancy word. we laptop users are surviving out here. Literally. Some days, okay, I didn't say this earlier because I kept forgetting and I was in the middle of reading, but my laptop keeps blinking at me and I'm scared. I'm so scared. Like the screen keeps flickering and I'm like, oh god, please don't be on your last life right now. I don't know what I would do. Oh gosh. But yeah, it's spooky month, but please do not scare me like that. Oh goodness. I'm hoping that's the only issue, is the storage space, and that's all I need to do to fix it. Mine seems to be getting darker and darker. Oh no, you're scared too. Oh gosh. How old is your laptop? I got mine in 2018, and this seems to be the only issue, is storage space. Only a year, oh gosh. I really wonder what that could be causing it to get darker and darker. Oh no. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all. You won't be able to see anything. Oh gosh. Save us, Cal, for real. Save us. Oh no. But only a year. Do you have a warranty? Perhaps, maybe? If it does, flatline, maybe you could replace it at least. I'm pretty sure my warranty ran out a year after, so 2019. If I had the money, PC for you, PC for you, PC for me, because mine's starting to get cooked with certain streams too. Oh gosh. Ah, yeah. Goodness. Oh, my Snuggie is gone. Sad. But I think I do. But I'm getting a PC sometime this month, so it's cool. Right. I forgot about that. I'm so excited for you, Lamia. Oh my goodness. So, are you going to use your laptop for anything afterwards? Or are you just gonna store it aside and let it rest for the for the remainder of its life? Early retirement. You know what? I think I want to take a short break from reading because I want to play the kalimba a little bit. Probably keep using it. I have another laptop to use if that one dies. Oh, okay. Good. Yes, definitely get the most life out of it that you can. I think that is a great idea. Okay. Probably for a minute or two, I'm going to play the kalimba, and then we will get back into the yokai stories. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but one day I want to make my own song with the kalimba. So probably just like a lullaby or something. I think that'd be really fun to do. Do it? Okay. I probably will. And it's really exciting to think about. Sometimes I struggle with words in general, so I'm not sure if I'd be the best at coming up with lyrics, but I will try my best. It just sounds like a fun little thing to do. Doesn't have to be perfect. This guy's hairstyle is something, isn't it? So silly. Excuse me, but like back then, certain hairstyles meant like different things, like status, right? So I think it's interesting. I just don't think it's appealing to me at all. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want my hair to be like that. No matter my status. A wild... I'm gonna butcher the name. Ursaring? Usaring? Ursaring. Yeah, that thing has appeared. So if you would like to attempt catching it, please go ahead. Ursaring. Ursaring. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. He's a big bear. It's the brown one, right? Dark brown? I only remember seeing it in Pokemon Go. It escaped. Goodbye, big bear. Okay, just a little bit more and then I will continue with the yokai readings. finish reading about bald-headed man, also known as Uto Yasukata, right? Wait, did we read about him? Oh, I'm confused now. Where was I? Yes, we did read about him. Okay. We are now on part 4 of the book, which is Yojutsushi? Yojutsushi, which are magicians. Cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Bony Shark. Thank you. Please enjoy your stay. Okay. First up for magicians, we have Gama Senin, I think. I want to say that's how you say it. Gama Senin. Spelled it wrong. Senin. Nope. Unfortunate. That's okay. We're going to look up the picture at least. Get your yokai watches ready. We gotta identify these yokais. At this point, it's less actual yokais. We were reading about like people, and now magicians. They're still people. But they're just not appearing on the website. So they're not entirely yokai. They're actually not yokai at all anymore. But hey, they're in the book, so I want to read about them regardless. Okay, let's see. I'm cursed to spell this one's name wrong every time. Okay, time to people watch. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yokai watch. I think this one's a good picture. Let's do this one. Wait. Is this one better? I think this one's better. Okay. Open image. And it's super small, so I gotta zoom in. Okay, it's super blurry when I zoom in. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it. It's... No. I'm not making my viewers deal with a blurry image. I refuse. Let's find a better picture. Yeah, this one. This one's good. I can imagine Kelp breaking through the wall showing that. You know what? Me too. I can also imagine. Okay, this picture is a lot more clear. If bots could dream, do you think Nightbot dreams of Lamia? Yes. Yes, I do. All of the bots dream of Lamia, don't you know? Okay. Here is Gama Sanin. It looks it's interesting. Petting a giant frog on the right image. Oh gosh, those toenails and those fingernails. Oh lord. Oh my goodness. No thanks. Ugh, mommy. The frog in the book is actually very cute. It's a giant frog, but it's adorable. Okay. Let us read about this first magician here. Oh, hello, Lime. Hello, hello. How are you doing? We were reading about yokai, but now we're on magicians. You've been gaming? I hope that's been going really well. I hope it's been fun. I think I'll read for about 15-ish more minutes and then probably raid out. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Fun, 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 fun. Okay. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end it about 15-ish minutes because I don't want ads to play again. Or no, actually, I think ads are gonna play again anyway. I think. And if they do, then I'm sorry. Okay. But I will give a warning before the ads play. Okay. Let's read about our magician here named Gama Sanin, also known as the Toad Immortal. Sorry, that is not a frog, it is actually a toad. Gama Sanin, the Toad Immortal, is believed to be able to release his spirit from his body and metamorphose I don't know that word, because I thought it was going to say metamorphosize, but it's a different word than that. That's quite rude to toads. Yes. Metamorphose. I don't know. I'm just going to say metamorphose. He derives from Chinese mythology, where he is of minor importance and was not selected to be one of the 8 immortals. However, he is especially popular in Japan. According to one theory, he is modeled after Jishuan, a prominent figure in early Chinese Taoism. The prevailing theory has him modeled after Liu Haichan, also called Liu Hai, a civil servant and alchemist who is portrayed in Chinese art with a toad. Gama Sanin is accompanied by Saiyajin, also called Jinwasen, a supernatural toad that has only 3 legs, 2 forefeet and 1 hind foot, which is attached to the center of the body. Especially worshipped among Taoists, the toad has the power to predict natural disasters. In Chinese mythology, it is said that Gama Sanin lured the toad from its hiding place in a well with gold coins. Why does a toad need gold coins? That's funny. In Japanese art, Gama Sanin is depicted as an old man in loose robes that reveal his bare chest and large belly. He tends to lean or step on his toad, but the toad can also be supersized and even bigger than him. He did not become a subject on the Kabuki stage in Edo, which is today's Tokyo, other than 1813 in the play Onoi Shoroku Sentaku Banashi, written by Tsuruya Nanboku IV and Sakurara Jisuke II, in which Gamasanin, performed by the lead actor of this play, Onoe Shoroku, was confronting Iwamitaro Zeimon Yoshitaka, played by Ichikawa Danjuro the Seventh. It's in Roman numerals, so I had to think about it. Uragawa Kuniyoshi's triptych features Gamasanin sitting on a mountain with rocks shaped like toads. Gamasanin himself looks like a humanoid toad, and he is shielded by a gigantic toad that towers behind and above him. He instructs Yoshikado and his half-sister princess Takayasha in toad magic, so they can avenge the death of their father, Taira Masakado. Gamasanin's exhaled breath makes the demon Ibaraki appear in the body of a beautiful woman. The scene is purely fictitious and refers to the biography of the loyal Uto Yasukata, written by the popular poet Santo Kyoden, which was published in 1806 with illustrations by Uragawa Toyokuni, Kuniyoshi's teacher. Hello, Brady Cthulhu. Hello. How are you doing? It is so good to see you again. So we were reading about yokai, but we've reached a point in the book where now we are reading about magicians, and this person here is a toad magician. Gamasanin is known as the Toad Immortal. But yeah, I hope that you are doing really well. Now that he's probably in a match and can't stop me. A wild lit Leo appears. I just read. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to read it out loud. That's kind of funny. Okay. The shout out for Sublime Mystery. It goes, Sublime Mystery is a delightful streamer who enjoys solving puzzles and playing games, often with a side of sarcasm and screaming. They recently celebrated their 1-year streaming anniversary and have been racing, looting, and even extracting chaos in various games. This next part. With a bearded, old, and fat exterior, their heart is as big as their personality. Oh my goodness. That was silly. Thank you so much for the follow, Benji. Thank you. Please enjoy your stay. Jeez, what the heck, Frosty? I know, right? Oh my gosh. Goodness. Oh, the Lit Leo escaped. Goodbye, Lit Leo. But yes, welcome in. I hope that you are enjoying the what was once yokai reading. It is now reading about magicians. Oh, thank you so much for the head pads. Thank you. Oh, ads are going to be starting in about 30 seconds. So if you are not subscribed, you may want to lower your volume. Yeah, let's continue with the reading. Did we just finish? Oh gosh, I hate having bad memory. Did we just finish reading about this? I think we did just finish reading about. Yes, okay. Okay. Up next, we have Jiraiya. Let's see. Jiraiya. Let's see. No. No results. It's okay. It's okay. That is. Oh. There's a character named Jiraiya from Naruto. I didn't know that. That's so funny. Well, they share the same name. That's quite funny. He's Naruto's mentor. Oh, cool. Thanks for the shout out. You are so welcome. You deserve it. Okay. Since it'd be so funny if cause when I search Jiraiya on Google Images, it only shows the anime character. It'd be so funny if I use that as the picture instead. I'm not gonna do that. That's so silly. Jiraiya magician. To be more specific, there's a Jiraiya in Persona 4. Oh my god, what is going on? Why is there so many? That is so funny. Okay. Open image. He's your best friend's persona. Oh, cool. That is so cool. This Jiraiya guy is everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay. Share my window so you can see it. Here is Jiraiya. Jiraiya from Naruto is the Toad Sage. Jiraiya from Persona is kind of frog-like, so I wonder if this Jiraiya you'll read about has to do with toads and frogs. Yes, yes it does. Although there isn't any... Oh, it's what do you call it? What's that word? It's on the tip of my tongue. Origami. Origami. There's origami frogs in this picture. I couldn't think of the word. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm wondering if my model caught the final realization on my face. Okay. Anyways, let's read about Jiraiya. Okay. The fictitious character Jiraiya first appeared in the 1806 novel called The Tale of Jiraiya, written by Kanwate Onitake and illustrated by Katsushika Hokuba. Jiraiya's real name is Ogata Shuma Hiroyuki, and he was both good and evil. On one hand, he killed people. On the other, he was a thief in the style of Robin Hood, with the significant difference being that Jiraiya becomes a magician because he is able to learn magical arts from the ascetic immortal living on Mount Miyoko. This immortal can transform into a huge toad. Yosuke? I lost it. Where is it? Did I say Yosuke? That's the best friend from Persona? Oh! Cool. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Persona. I just like watching it. But I forget a lot of the names very easily. Okay. Gotta love Persona. Yeah. This immortal can transform into a huge toad, and so toad magic is what Jiraiya learns. Hence, portraits of Jiraiya tend to show him with a toad or killing a giant snake with a gun. Oh my gosh. They had guns back then? Okay. I mean, yeah, they probably did. Just very old versions of it. In 1839, the author Mizugaki Igao picked up the subject of Jiraiya and began to write the tale of the gallant Jiraiya, which turned out to be an even greater success than its predecessor. The story was serialized in 43 volumes that were issued between 1839 and 1868. The first 11 were written by Igao, but beginning with volume 12, Ryukate Tanekazu took over the project almost to the end, with the exception of volumes 40 and 42 through 43, that were authored by Tanekazu's student, Ryusute Tanekiyo. The serial novel was extensively illustrated, initially by Utagawa Kunisada. Jiraiya's opponent is the young swordsman Orochimaru, literally meaning son of giant snake, who is possessed by the spirit of a giant snake that had lived deep in the mountains for 1,000 years. At the end, Jiraiya victoriously exorcises the snake spirit from Orochimaru and obtains a pardon for Orochimaru since he was not in control of himself when he committed his evil crimes. After each novel proved to be successful, Kabuki adaptations soon followed, making the character Jiraiya even more popular. Oh, okay, cool. There's a lot to take in with Persona. There really is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I've tried getting into it, and I want to say when Persona 5 first came out is when I tried to get into it, and then I realized it was just so much. I was watching someone else play at the time, and it was a lot. I enjoyed watching that person play, but maybe a little bit too much for my brain. I have a small brain, so but I do still enjoy watching gameplay of it. I just can't remember a lot of it for the life of me. Okay, up next is Orochimaru. I doubt it'll be on the website, so let's just Google Orochimaru. And we have another Naruto character. That's so funny. Okay, Orochimaru Magician. So more specific. Well, it's still mostly pictures of the Naruto character. Another Naruto character. Yeah, that's crazy. Kind of funny. Okay, open image. It's very small, so we zoom in, and now it's very blurry, and now I'm sad. Let me just try on the website real quick, just to see if it'll pop up, which I doubt. Nope, nothing. Sad. I'll find a better picture. Better picture. Okay, this one should be clear because it's like straight from the Wikipedia. So, let's see. And it's a little bit blurry, but not as bad as the other one was, so I think it's good. fine. Okay, here we go. Sometimes I find it hard to decipher what the heck is even going on in some of these really old illustrations. Okay, I see another frog, or a toad. I see another one. This is like the fourth toad. Toad magician. It's so funny. Why are they all related to toads, is my question. I find that so funny. Okay, let's read about Orochimaru. Orochimaru, literally meaning son of a giant snake, is the enemy of the Robin Hood-like thief Jiraiya. They are the main characters of the serial novel, The Tale of the Gallant Jiraiya, which was begun in 1839 by the author Mizukaki Igao. After 43 volumes and 29 years later, the story was concluded in 1868. Lavishly illustrated at first by Uragawa Kunisada, the novel became a great success and was adapted into Kabuki theater in 1852. The story goes that the spirit of a giant snake that had lived deep in the mountains for 1,000 years took possession of Orochimaru, a young swordsman, who is now able to perform snake magic. Oh wait, what? So this is about a snake, not a toad. Or not entirely about a toad. It's more so about a snake this time. Okay. Jiraiya is also no ordinary thief, but has magical toad powers, which he learned from an ascetic. However, his toad magic has no chance against Orochimaru's snake power. There is a third magician, Tsunade, who was taught slug magic. Oh my gosh, not slug magic. By the giant slug spirit, and also has healing powers. Okay, that's nice. That is nice to have. A trilemma and power circle ensues, whereby the slug is superior to the snake. Really? Which prevails over the toad, which overcomes the slug. Why does this feel like rock, paper, scissors with a toad, a snake, and a slug? That is so silly. Okay. The novel ends with an exorcism of the snake spirit from Orochimaru. A particularly remarkable portrait of Orochimaru was created by Kunisada for his series Toyokuni's Drawings, a Magic Contest, which depicts Orochimaru as a spirit floating without feet next to a rich floral bouquet with decorative paper balls from which ribbons fall to the ground that transform into snakes. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think let's read about one more, and then we will raid out. Excuse me. Up next is Kidomaru. Watch this be another Naruto character. Yep. It's another Naruto character. That's so funny. Kidomaru. Okay, well. Let's go more specific with our Google search. Wait, what? Wait, this one's actually on the Yokai website. Huh? I wasn't expecting any magicians to be on the website. That's funny. I gotta head out, but it was nice listening and chatting. Bye bye, Lamia. Thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. You're I'm so sorry, Lamia. I'm so sorry. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Oh lord. This one has udders. Oh, even Nightbot says goodbye. How sweet. What in tarnation? Oh goodness. Okay. Well, since Kiromaru is on the website, actually, let's read about this one in the website before we get to the book. What happened? This yokai has udders. Oh, I think it might be wearing the skin of a cow, bull, something. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and read about it. Kiromaru translation means Oni boy. Appearance. Kiromaru is an Oni who appears in Kokon Jomonju, which translates to a collection of notable tales, old and new, a Kamakura period compilation of myths and legends of the Heian period. He was a member of Shutendoji's clan and is said to be Shutendoji's son. He is known for his attempts to take revenge upon the samurai who defeated his father. Legends. Kiromaru's... I don't know, that looks like a typo to me. Kiromaru was born after the legendary samurai Minamoto Yorimitsu, also known as Raiko, and his party of heroes had subjugated Shutendoji and freed all of the women captured by his Oni gang. The women were grateful to the samurai for rescuing them and returned home to their villages. One of the women, however, didn't return to her home. Instead, she traveled to the village of Kumohara, where she gave birth to a baby Oni, Shutendoji's son. The boy was named Kiromaru. He was born with a full set of teeth and an Oni's strength. By the time he was 7 or 8 years old, he could slay a deer or a boar by throwing a single rock at it. Oh gosh. He was apprenticed as a temple servant to Mount Hiei, just like his father was. And just like his father, he was eventually expelled from the temple for being a wicked, wretched little boy. He fled into the mountains and lived in a cave, turning to robbing people to survive. He studied magic and honed his powers in his secret hideout. Many years later, Raiko was visiting his younger brother, Yorinobu. Yorinobu had captured the Oni bandit Kiromaru and locked him in his bathroom. Raiko scolded his brother for being so careless and not properly subduing the Oni with ropes and chains. Raiko showed Yorinobu how to tie up an Oni and made sure Kiromaru couldn't escape. Then Raiko spent the night just to make sure nothing bad would happen. That night, Kiromaru easily broke the bonds that were holding him. He wanted revenge, so he snuck up to Raiko's room and spied on him. Raiko noticed the Oni spying on him and decided to lay a trap. In a loud voice, he told his attendants that the following morning they would ride to Mount Kurama to make a pilgrimage. Hearing this, Kiromaru ran ahead to Kurama to plan an ambush for Raiko. On the road outside of Ichiharano, Kidomaru slaughtered a cow and climbed inside of its body to hide and wait. Oh goodness. When Raiko and his companions arrived at Ichiharanaro, they easily saw through Kidomaru's disguise. Raiko's best archer, Watanabe no Tsuna, shot an arrow through the cow's body, injuring the Oni. Kidomaru emerged from the cow's corpse and charged at Raiko with all of his might. However, Raiko was too fast. He cut Kidomaru down with a single stroke of his blade. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Okay, well, let's read about this one in the book. And then, soon after, we will be raiding. If anyone has raid suggestions, please go ahead and let me know. Let me drink some water real quick first. That's some good water. Cafe Cat Guru is a great ASM artist. Oh, thank you, honey. But I can't raid myself. Okay. Kidomaru. Kidomaru is an ogre whose leader was Shutendoji, who had his lair on Mount Oi, northwest of Kyoto. He was defeated by the valiant warrior Minamoto Yorimitsu and his 4 heavenly kings. The collection of notable tales old and new, which was completed in 1254, describes how Kidomaru was caught at the house of Yorimitsu's brother, Yorinobu, and put in chains. But Kidomaru tore them off and went to Yorimitsu's bed to seek revenge. Yorimitsu noticed that Kidomaru was watching him and told a servant that he would visit Mount Kurama the next day. Excuse me. Kidomaru took off to the mountain to set a trap for Yorimitsu. On the way, he killed an ox at the Ichihara field and hid inside its body. When Yorimitsu arrived at the mountain, he ordered Watanabe Tsuna, one of his 4 heavenly kings, to shoot the ox with a bow and arrow. After the arrow struck, Kidomaru appeared, slashing at Yorimitsu, who was cut down with a single strike. Toriyama Sakin captured Kidomaru with the ox skin in his book supplement to a demon horde from past and present in 1781. This theme was also adopted in the mid-19th century by print artists like Uragawa Kuniyoshi, who chose Kidomaru to represent the zodiac sign of the ox in his series Heroes representing the 12 animals of the zodiac. The novelist Takizawa Bakken also incorporated Kidomaru in his book Strange Records of the 4 Heavenly Kings and a plundering thief. Kidomaru meets the thief Hakamadare Yasusuke in a cave in the mountains, and the two embark on a magic competition to compare their techniques. Kuniyoshi's student Tsukioka Yoshitoshi captured the scene in an impressive composition with Hakamadare. It's a little loud. Well, it was. Now it's quiet. It's gaslighting me. Okay. Where was I don't know. Okay. Let's start over then. Kidomaru meets the thief Hakamadare Yasusuke in a cave in the mountains, and the two embark on a magic competition to compare their techniques. Kuniyoshi's student Tsukioka Yoshitoshi captured the scene in an impressive composition, with Hakamatare towering in the air. Standing on a snake, he commands, while Kiromaru is below him sitting on a rock, wrapped in pine sprigs in his mouth, sending out an attack of his tengu. A much earlier and arguably more dramatic portrait of Kiromaru is by Kuniyoshi, who shows him seated cross-legged on the head of a colossal snake in which a sword has been driven, again with wrapped pine sprigs in his mouth. His hands are clasped to perform the ritual gesture, mudra, that accompanies the ceremony of unction, also known as kanjo, in Buddhism. 4 tengu can be observed at the bottom of the portrait watching the scene. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well then. I kind of wish I had a bookmark for this book. I always come back to it and I'm like, oh gosh, where did I leave off? Where? Okay. Next time we're going to start with Kiritaro. I'm gonna do a little page crease in the corner so I don't forget where I am. Okay, there we go. Just a small little page crease. Okay. Well, that is going to be it for today's stream. Oh, a wild knocked owl appears. Alright, let me see who is live right now. Let's take a look. Oh, Kitty is live. We might read Kitty. Let's see who else. Notes live too? Yeah, I haven't rated Notes in a while. But also, I don't think I've rated. Yeah. Yeah, let's raid Note. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the raid message, honey. Okay. For anyone who would like to follow through with the raid, if you want to copy the raid message, there it is. Or if you are subbed, you can use one of my new emotes, Cool Raid. It was made by the lovely Dokizuti. And I love it so much. It's so cute. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. Let me go ahead and write the raid message before I forget. Okay, there we go. There it is. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here today or tonight or wherever you're from. Super stream, thank you. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. It was honestly a little sad when we weren't really reading about yokai anymore. It started talking about people. You know, not to be mean, but I could care less about the people. The history is cool, I will say, but I am here for the yokai. Yokai. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all. I hope everyone enjoyed the yokai readings tonight, and yeah, I hope to see you all again next time. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Good night, good night, good night. Adios.